Hi, this is Elena, and I'm coming online for one prominent message that keeps coming up again and again. And it's probably time for you to actively listen to that because you probably have been receiving it yourself. We are blindfolded at this period of time. The sense of identity has been reconstructing over and over again the last few months, and we don't know where we are headed. We don't know who we are becoming. We don't know what's coming up next. Yet we have the promises given that we are headed to something better, and before that something better, there is more energy to be moved around. There is more transformation to take place. And beyond everything else, there is a huge exhaustion behind all of this. For all of us as light workers, that we have been experiencing these ups and downs, the highs and lows, and everything that keeps shifting and changing constantly the last many years. Since 2020 it was more obvious, but it was happening even before that. Now, the message that is prominent and I wanted to share, the blindfolded guidance. We are blindfolded, but we are being guided. And we are being guided by Holy Spirit, by God. And we are guided to the heaven that feels aligned to us. So what we are called to actually do is to trust more and surrender even more, even if it feels unknown, even if it feels funky at this period of time. And usually summertime, I don't know what's going on, but everything feels intensified, too challenging, too harsh, too a lot of things, too intense in many ways. Usually there's more light coming in and more, which makes everything more clear to our eyes. The other thing that is coming through along with this message that we are blindfolded yet guided by God. I repeat that again because I'm asked to in many ways. So the other message has to do with the focus of your energy, the focus of your attention, and where it is and why. We are in a space where too many realities exist simultaneously. What that means? It's not about parallel lifetimes or the infinite parallel lifetimes that exist, past and future at the same time. It's about each one's reality. We are all co-creators of this planet, of this earth, of this universe. So imagine that we are all co-creating our own universe. Many of us have no alignment between us. We are not even coherent within self yet, except for the few masters that exist alive at this point of time, that they are creating from a coherent space. And this is our goal, to create from coherence and to create from an aligned space within. Now, with all of these realities, the most sensitive in picking up these realities, what that creates to us is some kind of confusion and more disturbance energetically. It's an energetic noise that takes place in that space of picking up different realities that exist simultaneously. Now, an example of that to ground it a bit. There is war in one place on earth, there is hunger in another place on this earth, there is even the most advanced countries are actually in a war, but a different kind of war of ethical matters, of morality matters, of financial states for each individual. In other words, each one of us, wherever we are located, wherever we are placed, whatever the challenges that we experience in the micro world we are living in, of the country, of the area, of whatever that is, we all have something in common. at the baseline of everything. And what we have in common is the sense of security, safety, and protection. One way or another, we don't feel safe in the space we are, which begins from the family dynamic, of course, but it expands in a greater sense of the city and the country we are living in. Most of us, as light workers, we are in a space of desiring a relocation. And that relocation has to do with a feeling of safety and a community where we actually feel good enough, not just within ourselves, but good enough with coexisting, good enough with co-creating with each other, within ourselves. And that is the next step. That is going to happen next. Spirit guides say, but before we get there, we have to allow ourselves to receive that frequency that creates the safety within self, that creates the safety and the protectedness, where we actually have to let go everything that creates anything fear-based to us, even connections with others around us, finding that sweet spot within self of giving to ourselves the permission to feel safe, to be safe, without being engaged with what is going on around us. And that is probably the most hard of all, because the logical mind says, but how can I feel safe when everything feels so unsafe around me? When I can't trust the people I have around me for creating that safe space for me, for allowing me to be myself. And even that starts and begins within self, because you have to give permission to yourself that regardless of who is around you and what is going on in the city, in the country you belong, or you are living now, you have to create, to claim that birthright of feeling safe and protected, secure. This is your birthright, and most people don't even realize that this is a birthright we have. Since we incarnated, since we came here to experience life, one of the birthrights we have, at least at this period of time, at this era, is the feeling of safety and protectedness, and feeling safe and protected. So what we are asked is to let go of any masks and performance acts that we are still operating from, to release them so we can feel our true self, so we can connect with the truest sense of safety and security within self. We don't even realize many times how we actually have to create a performer within ourselves to claim that safety and protectedness, to create that space for self, regardless who we are connecting with. There's always the sense of when we are going through our healing journey, okay, we discover many times how we have been hurt or wounded in the past, and because we weren't ready to face that, to acknowledge it, even the realization that is very strong and very intense, most of the times it is actually postponed for later, for when I'm ready, and we do that unconsciously. We don't realize that this now creates the feeling of unsafety within myself, or facing this behavior from people, or experiencing this situation from people I trusted. We don't realize that this creates unsafety within us. So we actually postpone that. We kind of hide it from ourselves, and we get into a space of creating a mask, a performer that, look, since this is normal, since this is what is happening everywhere around me and with everyone, we kind of normalize it in our minds. So I have to behave like this, not to show that I'm vulnerable, not to show that this is wounding me, because this is kind of normal and I should be able to handle it regardless. So we normalize some kind of abuse on a very light level usually, and we get into a space of performing that this is normal because there's no other way for us to handle it. These exactly the masks is what we are called now for us to drop entirely, which means we have to allow ourselves to feel the uncomfortable feeling of feeling unsafe, of what we have experienced so far, that this is not normal. Even you saying to yourself that this is not a normal experience, this shouldn't be tolerated. This kind of acknowledgement and realization is enough to start shifting your reality. When you label something as pinpointing that this is not normal, you start changing your reality. You are opening up to see what was actually happening so far, what was normalized so far. And in that space of just the acknowledgement, what is changing is your magnetic field, and your reality is coming into a way of rearranging itself. It's like you're exploring through experiences just by labeling them that this is not okay, this is so and so. But at the end of the day, you are kind of, how can I say this? It is like if someone is showing you clothes, let's say trousers, and you say, yes, no, I don't know about this, I would like to try it, I don't know how it will feel when I wear it, and this is not okay, and I don't like that color, and I don't like that material. So it's kind of like that. In the space of you're saying, no, this is not okay, this is not tolerable, this is so and so, this is my yes. And the more you do that, this is not labeling the situations around you, labeling what is tolerable and what is not tolerable, what is normal and not normal. Even things you have been experiencing your whole life and thinking that, okay, this is happening everywhere, this is happening everywhere, this is happening to everyone I know. Feel okay and give permission to yourself to say that this is not normal anymore, even if you are the only one in your reality. Even if you are the only one who sees that as not normal or that is not accepting something as normal. What will happen next? After the too many times of this is not normal, we are gonna pass this, I don't like that, you're gonna get your space, yourself, and your space in a different vibration, a different frequency, where you will be experiencing this so and so almost yes. And in that space, you may question yourself, am I too much? Am I too difficult? Am I this? This kind of doubt will be creeping in, but stay focused on that. Stay focused on keep going and saying to yourself or to the universe and your higher self, this is still and so situation. This is close to a yes, but not exactly a yes. You are not rigid. You are not too difficult. You don't have too high of standards. What you're doing is rearranging your reality by speaking out loud to yourself actually, and to this energy system that is working through you and around you, that this is not okay or this is close. It's like we are playing the game, someone shows me now, of how close are we, where someone responds cold and warm, okay? And when we are close enough, it gets warmer and warmer and it gets to be hot until we find that sweet spot within us and that thing that we were looking for. So this is exactly what we are guided to do because we are blindfolded, okay? So we have to keep saying and listening to that voice, that intuitive voice within yourself, where it says, this is so and so, this is warmer, it gets warmer, until it is a huge yes that comes from your soul, from your psyche, where your nervous system is relaxed, your nervous system is exactly as it should be, in tune with that peace and tranquility within yourself. So don't be actually afraid to claim that, don't be afraid to play this game of this is somehow okay, but not fully okay. I'm getting warmer or I'm getting colder, and there's some kind of fluctuation that will take place. There will be moments where you feel, oh, this is warm, yes, it is close to a huge yes. And then something will happen and it will be extremely cold. One step. It's not a redirection, it's not a wrong or false step, it's not a mistake, and it's not that you got out of alignment. On the contrary, it is you building your discernment up in realizing how well it feels to be warm, to be at the space of this is warm, in comparison to the space of feeling cold suddenly. And how these different states of being are contradicting each other, that exactly sweet spot is what builds your discernment. And how your yes will become louder or your no will become more valid, more firm. So don't be afraid of that. Just go with it and play with this. This is yes, this is a yes, this is a no. And how we started this with the different realities that are coexisting simultaneously. It has to do with browsing different realities that feel in alignment or completely off alignment with you. The split is taking place, the split of realities has already started, and you are in a space of co-creation with the rest of us, of that altered reality, in that split that is happening already. So your yeses and your no's, not the physical nose. Someone is laughing from my guides. So your yeses and your no's has to do with what feels in alignment with you. And we are co-creating exactly this, the yes and the no, and that new reality of the split. And please don't get disheartened when you keep coming across your no's. These no's that you show up in your timeline are creating a new compass within yourself and a new map for you to walk. A new path that is being now recreated through your yeses and your no's. So even if these no's show up over and over again, know this, know that, no to the other thing, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely okay. And if you question that, it's normal to question that. I have questioned it too many times so far. Like, what the heck is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. The answer was coming through. And when I realized why all these, no to this, no to that, no to the other thing, this doesn't feel okay to me. And I got frustrated too many times and upset too many times. The bottom line of that was that my reality was rearranging into something that truly feels in alignment. And then the other question that shows up, but don't I already know that? Yes, you do. Still, those no's that we have to speak to our energy are still coming through because we have to get into a space of allowing loud and clear what is the no, what is the yes, what is the hell yeah, I want this. This is what I came here to do, to experience, to live. Comes to be very clear. And the clearer it becomes, the more all these realities we are experiencing simultaneously are getting to dissolve and disappear from our awareness. So it's kind of a bigger matter that we don't yet fully realize of what is truly going on, that all those realities have to disengage. They're still kind of connected between them. So what we are doing with declaring this is not what I want, we are disengaging from all these different realities that coexist simultaneously, and there is a clearance, a larger clearance that takes place in the background that you are not actively seeing because it would be too too devastating. It would be too difficult and challenging to handle through your awareness because we are on the ascension path and we are becoming more sensitive into feeling a lot of things. So, I hope this helps. A message within the message within the message of how we are guided by God, yet we are blindfolded, and why we are blindfolded, because we have to build that discernment, we have to create that disengagement of the different realities that coexist, because there is a deeper clearance and a larger in magnitude that takes place. And this is how collectively we co-create that split that is happening and has started already. And if there is a part of you that still worries, which reality have I chosen and why have I chosen it? Am I doing enough things to stay in that reality? And what about my loved ones? Will they be there, or will I be on my own? Now, what I want you to know in this huge, massive tone of questions that are coming, because everyone has gone through these questions about the split. There is a part of you that already knows how to handle all these differences in the vibrations, in the frequencies. There is a part of you that knows why the choice. There's a part of you that knows how to walk through this period of time before that choice actually establishes in the physical. There's a part of you that already knows exactly what it is and how to do this. That part of you comes from your soul, your higher self, and your spirit. So instead of getting into that, constantly worrying about this and that and how it will happen, how it will feel, will I miss anything from the timeline and the split that I won't choose, I want you to turn to that part of you that already knows. Even if that knowing doesn't become aware to you, even if that knowing doesn't tell you the details, that part of you already knows. That part of you already holds your hand through this transition and through this transformation. And believe me, there are many days that are challenging in many, many ways. So all of these days where you feel a bit more challenged, when you feel that you are worried, listen to these worries, but not in a way that will overwhelm you, but in a way that will give you something back, as clarity, as insight, as whatever. And if still clarity doesn't come through, this is exactly it. The confusion is the clarity that something is off and something is not in alignment with you. Something creates incoherency in your energy, and you have to stay with that. That this creates incoherency in my energy. You don't have to know the why behind it. You don't have to have the full picture of why your soul hasn't chosen that other path or whatever. So whenever that happens, this is the way through, not out, the way through. Repeating to yourself and affirming loud and clear that a part of me already knows how to do this. A part of me already knows what is the next step. A part of me feels extremely safe in following this, in going through with these actions. A part of me knows how to guide me to the next step, to what is appropriate for me, what brings more authentic expression of myself out of me. When you affirm that to yourself, you are shifting your awareness to that part of yours that already knows. Even if it hasn't become clear to your logical mind, that's okay. And this is where the initial message actually clicks in even more. The trust and surrender. Because a part of you is connected to God, a part of you is connected to Source, and it already knows how to guide you. Trust that part of yourself, surrender to that part of yourself, even if your logical mind questions too many things and worry is too much of everything. It's not something difficult to do. Just the realization that this part of you already knows how to navigate this challenge or this period of unclear messages, or the worry or the doubt or the fear that shows up. It's absolutely normal for you to be afraid of something. But it's not okay to let yourself lose you in it. So redirect your awareness and your focus to that part of you that already knows. Trust it and let it guide you. Let it lead you to what is coming up next. This is it. This is it. This is exactly it. So confusion shows up, doubt shows up, worry shows up. Call in the Holy Spirit. Connect with that energy. You are a spirit and the Holy Spirit is also a spirit. So you're calling in a frequency, a vibration that can help you and support you, can make you feel that you're loved, you're guided, you're protected. And surrender to that part of yours that already knows what is going on and what is the next step. There's nothing better than this. There's nothing more aligned than this at this exact period where everything feels upside down. We are blindfolded, but we are guided. Please remember that. Much love to you. If you would like us to connect privately on a session, please do reach out through my website. You can browse the different sessions and let's create more coherency and more alignment for you, with clarity, with love, with understanding of how you can change yourself and your life. Because this is it. This is it. We are called to claim the right to live the best of our lives. And yes, I'm talking plural. So I love you. Be true to yourself and be your true self. And remember, everything is energy. Much love, Elena.